You have the political establishment living in the past. And the reason they live in the past is because they have this short term approach to power. They are moving day to day to try and keep control. Then you've got a population that is looking into the future and saying, how do I make money going forward? So you have a creative process and a control process in conflict with each other. So I am going to take you guys back to the medieval times. So there are two books that I have read that were very interesting. One, Furio, you know Walter Isaacson. I'm sure you've met
Yes.
Walter Isaacson. So Walter Isaacson, Adesua, you should get to know, find out about Walter Isaacson and read his books. He's one of the best biographers in the world. So he did a biography of Leonardo da Vinci. Now, it's as if, and what one of Isaacson's strongest points is he gets people who are long dead and brings them back to life. And it's as if you're interacting with them. Now, in that book, the most interesting thing was the evolution of the papacy, the whole, the who are the popes and what, and how it's totally unrecognizable today from what it was those days. But in there, one of the interesting things was to see how the Catholic establishment, as the custodian of world wisdom and human intellect, was at war with the inventors and the scientists of that time. So that's how you end up with people like Galileo Galilei being excommunicated. Now, here is another interesting one for me. I don't know if any of you guys has ever read the World Atlas of Coffee, but at
No.
some period, do you know that at one point coffee was banned?
No.
The
Oh
consumption,
yes, yeah, yeah.
yeah, the consumption of coffee was banned in Europe because it was equated with the same thing as alcohol and
Oh my
alchemism.
goodness.
Yes, but in the end, coffee scored a convincing victory. In fact, so convincing that even everybody joined it. So I guess ultimately, those who are seeking to control are going to lose. And here's why. In Uganda, Charles, I don't know if you know this. I saw the statistics from UCC, the Uganda Communications Commission. TikTok alone has over 5 million accounts, Ugandan accounts. What does that mean? It means, Charles, in my view, the next election in Uganda is going to be determined on TikTok. Why? It is the only platform where you have not home, you don't, it's not fractured like either the radios or the televisions with different audiences. No. So TikTok is going to be the platform where young people influence each other's thinking and therefore determine the future direction. And I think the Egyptian establishment has seen its effect and is trying to get in on it. But because they're not well prepared in terms of having the right people to engage, they've gone for control. Now, in Uganda,
But but but
they
uh,
are as
but
yeah.
but but Bob, if I may come in there, just so that this point doesn't get lost. Just what you just said about young people and the SUA and federal have raised the gendered aspect to this, and then the one which we probably don't think around is that probably it's just not the government itself which is a threat, but even society itself. So uh, what what people can argue, and we will let us start this with you and Desua, then Pero, you can speak it up, that the female form is subversive. It's not like Bob dancing on the beach. Yeah, I mean, if a woman who dances on the beach sets off a lot of political and social um you, you know
Charles, to be female
issues.
in Africa, you must necessarily be subversive, otherwise you don't exist.
No, virtually, everywhere else in the world. So just but explain, just explain to us, you know, at the SWA. How damaging is that?